New sonnet. Sonnet 1. He's beaten by a foe. His broken watch has not a face like hers. He's perfect. Number. Stops he for Juliet. His honey's slow while moon-hooked stars above his swaggers botch that smallest room. A problem's in the way when nothing is believed. 'Tis time to fib. The phoenix out of action. Lovers glib. The definition's boring as doomsday. He fails at all. He screeches his complaint with siren fury to be duly free of gruesome beasts. Rejecting you with me. The needs we parasites for pink wine taint. But parcels matter. Tools we master drill and rest in motions for our yearly fill. Malak Yaffa with me. Sonnet 2. Of boundaries ever. 2 almost are cleft by theory of the fewest pieces. Time. The fly. The lights. The spirit rotten climb a cord of curtain. And your good soul left. A door has more than any windows eye. So blamed in nature. Every mountain's out of gentlemen from there. Oh. Let each doubt. All quelled by seeded things. Each by and by they war to please your reason. Still you think up something for the gold. That something's man who hangs up not. Then if his love flow can. To butter up the present. Break hearts drink. A slave of foam. You wanted it before your father's why. Who rocked to know much more. Malak Yaffa with me. Sonnet 3. Up to the end. A little full. We date that right to wait when nothing else has come. As fountains spring. A new myself is dumb as ever linked when pleasure speaks it's late. My thoughts own spiritual and more. The show. Those glories. Gains from all the times I borrow. I join for union. Eros jams my sorrow. And pours its future in this chart's good glow. A golden honor murmuring of all of notes and lives. And welcoming the ink. We make a budget for some fun we think. But prayers. Imaginations start to call the eye of wonder back in months to fight our brotherly divide from timeless light. Malak grouchy with me. Sonnet 4. Each day descends the gold. Again our home is given us. We mar its red increase that holds this afternoon its horn or piece to hunt. In final winds. What soars become. A laurel goes away when trouble. Hate and stormy nose have hooded. Coated you. Forever laws forbid them through and through. Which. Frothy ever. Mottos now relate. So sit tied up. And fall upon your books. A gap the window opens has an air the world's the self will water with her prayer. Which wanders from the real for what it looks till twice your body rises off from pain by knowing here. Forgetting its refrain. Malak Thrick but with me. Sonnet 5. What is this pleasure's poorer handiwork that gladdest robin questions in the air? The sea. So plain. In day 2. Pretty there. What shall this seashore? Kissed by silver. Fork. While pale. The silence. It has come tonight. What would be up above where great souls count from minutes beamed while out from space they mount an off-world in the empires of sunlight. That sunny danger. Day only's alone. Would make all infinite. That stubborn star emancipated what is now. Once far to a celestial night that's filled with moan since what the weather's after's coming soon for knowledge volunteered. It's harvest moon. Malak aura with me. Sonnet 6. With dawning of experience. Oh look. When if you're blinded not. Demand a tear whenever pains will end. Still few. You fear to be a thing. With reason turn a book. You'll sure read it when late again and more. Let priestly scholarship have cause to mend your heart. Volcanic doom the knell shall end this hour prompting artworks to restore the world's own dwelling. Borrowing from high its glow and beat. Your hopeful strength has found. This all begins outside. Out there. With sound. A lulling in this place. A little cry this prophet. Night. Defender of the dream you lost if patient language won't redeem. Malak Elaine with me. Sonnet 7. Though not together. What was taken still from silent sayings. Suns annihilate. One humble slept. Her nightly sights were great. She crossed the hanger of the daylight's will. Though facing weakness. Settings weatherly throughout the warmth above. The comely moon still greater crept her cheek of goodness on. A middle beauty backed angelically her fall was beaten since with fresher rise to rest up higher. Ever yielding their capricious. Felt some joy as if to wear no widow image. But embellish wise the piece went up with pride of being right for humankind in song of well and night. Malak Ame with me. Sonnet 800s. Flowers. Liberties all pledge convene within the world whose heart has through its autumn's hook. A fiction. Kind of true. Which teaches without fury pleasure's edge. As neighborhoods in fragments deem the end. Employ their time and come so close to know what everyday improves when love below lets strangest. Highest day its shining send. That other mountain of tomorrow stands else than its heaviness when love shall put its pleasure vital from the blackness shut. In observation of these nights and lands. Down on the green where life alone is fit with native thoughts and pleasures glad for it. Malak Donna with me Sonnet 9 I drift within, and not a greater home, not mine but someone's joy is spider size, another house of moms indoors. My eyes to haunted walls in braveries have come, to closer help my sight. That open door, I push to enter. Angels fly around that wouldn't represent. Its maker's craft joins in the dark with peace. Although I laughed in day's own freeze at that home's unmound floor. No clouds can pass above through vaster air. Those temple clouds, nor shade when after day can come as to each empty house array of old forbidden neighborhoods out there, where people's houses, not of lands around rise under. Visions which my eyes make found. Malak ora to ferret it with me Sonnet 10 white puss, not under beams, but here in shade upon the floor, nor elder-like, still slow when sudden of the morn to wake up now, to wink my way, let funny sounds be made to have your water, to the birds outside you listen while my visits overnight are welcomed at my parents' home, and white has paled your gown to white as if a bride, yet with no lover's stare, quite something else as innocent, Nefesh Nelly from feline eyes spilt green and blue shall see be Naviva, whose island's stay, she tells, did not last long as love, he cometh back to touch her fur, to join once more her track. Malak honey with me Sonnet 11 the noontime sunlight sits, and out I stare, beyond my window motions happen less, the thousand leaves leave an impress on eyes comparing in with outdoors there, no alien to space the light next door reflects its shine off an apartment's side, and airs of pressures active less inside have mooded me while forcing me to store awareness of this business on my pad. The iPad rests between the sill and me, now takes its turn at being on my knee. Its background slivers snow white blinds. I'm glad these streak down sway and strike the window bright with views as calm as angels to my sight. Malak aura with me Sonnet 12 I purpled inked my writing and begun. The pain pills helped me bask within a glow. Not sure the time, as if I watched a show, then passively composed what it had done. This sonnet outlines here it opens hence to be worked on in thankfulness to give up newness for a promise it could live with me in pleasant rest. My patient sense did notice how these useful things turned good, how long my calm would last, how ignorant such papered plans to improvise, invent, maroon my meanings till their strangeness could return to stack and trick organic piece to angle on this paper and increase. Malak Elaine with me Sonnet 13 as fresh as morning feels. Above this head a puffy bough still blends in evergreen. I view it every day as I am seen to walk whichever way where I am led. Both branch and sound of cars together go, yet trees could still be trees without them there, while highest up some deadened growth in air points in or outward out above that bough, if just as old as new. I cannot tell how does the sun with not yet strongest light upon that greenery and beyond sight bring traffic to our dawn as motors yell. Like it I rise up curious to see if light could ever silence them for me. Malak grouchy with me Sonnet 14 down Palisades. A high world opens some when windows open to the outside all a block. The block is now impossible since fully sunlight heats again each home. A proud story in sunny aura waits upon that image drawing now its line to shadowed porches. Balconies and shine repeating what the universe relates in angles angling answers back to eyes ahead already bridging home I see their place these people of reality anonymous are dwelling all their lives. And there they live, and inside, out of reach hint undertones of empty cares for each. Malak Ariel with me Sonnet 15 not as it was, a butter moving round, the art of circling it back, and back man's in a bottle, schools me here for lack becoming beautiful. One angel found could fall to death, her feet up in the air to do the weight which goes inside my soul to love all of me, never mind that hole, another hand to blow that old stain there, so lock the rack, release, still sick in love, our God's not evil, hunts on every date, then it's a gift, to fly away when great, lost of a friendship, shipped off, shipped above, come on, grow up, if not you sin to please while sands upon this sailor's lady's knees. Malak Yaffa with me Sonnet 16 not stiller than the sun sits out the soul, that guilty pussycat whose golden flow, a box of beer, for newer tale has glow upon that blossom, soup and fruit and roll, which fill me up with bribes, attack them now, while Plato's dazed, you wander back for more, no triumph, coward, when the soul's at war, her voiced philosophies in catcalls meow, a city slicker's world of boundless white, I'm all for more of that or green to milk, and peek into the heart below its silk, as happiness must open, drum through night, not happier to contemplate, 'Tis true, I'm no more for eternity than you. Malak Yaffa with me. Sonnet 17. Those truths, which we all hate, come out of it. When bored that no delusions stop the show to touch the center. Snatched by Jove below. Divinity is up, not ever fit. All out of life, or up and down again. Such headaches, not yet better, always lurk to pin the self with idiotic work for maddest study notes of love within. And exiled pairs walk nude of poetry and mistress after mistress sees no love. Oh, later, out, Alice, you're out above. And so those sweeties suffered foolishly. With them you faced off. Happy going back when banged your soul's triumphant heart attack. Malak Penelope with me. Sonnet 18. The mean are doomed to seek forever truth to farther out their world. It's all on strike yet. Talk is triumph ever. And the like in darkness has its mouth for wench and proof. Their errors, up. So never mind their wrath, relinquishing a readiness below for human bait to die within their glow from nightly dervishes. No ending path to bore another lover, rare to eyes. So why be logical? The old buzz off and pass an honor up to share their scoff at green empires that fill their days with cries. Committed to their gardens. Do-dee-do. Each king's against your song, nor treasures you. Malak Yaffa with me. Sonnet 19. Mount up mortality. Your earthly work resigns tonight into a weighty lie. King of your own, you fill it hourly with healing pleasures. As more still lurk. Yet money's out when silver's lost by you. The art is this, to make a rainy dash. No greater soul has felt a sweeter wash as gathers to your palm when coming to your hat. Blown off because those whipping hours had made their arch into that other zone. The heart inside shall seek its gift alone. That broken toy, as never noble powers do fill the minute up with worldly junk when pains are taken with some tomb or trunk. Malak Bertha with me. Sonnet 20. So tap the pleasure out. A milky flood, your piece of love to air somebody out. 1 minute more has blown it round about to pound a wind that's had with fire and blood. The shine you seek goes to a grassy place. You, father's lad, a baby, always real, must hunt your turn with hotter gait. Why feel you miss that act to fathom thought and face? Once more these tests for roughest happiness and nights of anarchy bring out your days, which back again did spot the self's amaze because the captured piece has more than less made contest victory. So play the bell. Your idle start alone has come out well. Malak Elaine with me. Sonnet 21. 1 minute. Muse. Therefore to set this post, then turn away from truths. 'Tis milkshake time. That way of whiteness pushes new sublime into your baby bound its part to toast. This is the way to woo your dancing dear, celestial witness, genius and your dame, whose breaths divine again triumphant came to horn as heaven's backside flashes clear. With monumental wounds your daughter moves, and permanently selfish, hooked on life, forever knocking, open to be wife for hers, whose sounds of truths each soul approves. Still, morning blades which occupy the grass of God and prophets cannot save your lass. Malak Amy with me. Sonnet 22. No evil kisses, yours. Your wormy brim of lips has quested for that shining head of sunshine speaking, oozing, making red its fiery point or air ball ending dim. So, hot rod rising infinite, your eye forever rounding, stitches up a hole in fortune's fun, and taller, makes the soul just now bewitched to wrap against its sky a lighter tale, and one a queen can tell shall forwards be, but backwards, daylight's foe, in dimmest peace, is out for friendless show are all you owned of heaven and lost of hell where on those grassy tracks your rays of white are prized throughout the nothingness of night. Malak Diana with me. Sonnet 23. The sun has crossed its arms in paradise. Its place and play come out of certainty, and topping man's, brings magic to the tree in first of day with light to meet these eyes. Know what you will of us, you might make everybody's yours. A sea so full dumps waves, their bending hands together pull to bug our maker for some more delight. My reader, now behold a better chant. This noisy celebrating worm of sort has begged the mounting shade to cut theirs short or thin forever out their boundless rant. Adieu my secret star, once more the green your heaven cookie eats up after scene. Malak Aura Aura to ferret with me. Sonnet 24. Still up again to make your feelings clean, and think with all your heart when nothing's said. Whenever nothingness has pushed your head, you make some hopeful questions come between. What kind? Those more persuasive certain ways. Your sunshine fights the sky with its own fire, and comes to spring its godlike power higher within your flying leafy kingdom's days. With all establishments of truth, your beat, and you can't tell what any truth is for when beauty and a happy life is more. You will condemn old manners with your heat, which is required to form a light not small to shine its humble kindness back to all. Malak ora ora to ferreted with me. Sonnet 25. Not everyone's at peace when crowlist winds in airy manners make their widest swear, and lost in obligations curse the air. The city's cold, unhappy Helen minds. Still Helen's face has come for buddy time. So counsel her when pleasures most are due. Now falling open lies your way, and you shall play your role that Helen's own may climb. Thus mercy waits. Why tell a white one now? For super readers fancy money bags. Are you not friendly though your friendship lags? All crowlist men have put an end to play. To stop these lads, please love them everyday. Malak Teresa with me. Sonnet 26. To fire her fire. Thus wisdom would not come to let a fancy tale fill up the hour whose reader has a heart not sick for power, but calm. This heart's first act shall carry home. While banked within her chair a heart returns new questions to anear. Those words beg pleas for sense and justice in the world and peace. One family so to love in many turns. Earth's many brains have had again too much of numbers, time and manners which are rough. Some swear the will has fled from greater stuff though pleasures wiggle all the day for such. Your day to be a woman's waving near as wakes your sleep some morning chanticleer. Malak Shay with me. Sonnet 27. Let out your heart to cry that it's not right. Who labors in the sun for simple flowers, on which the kindest face of all now showers? Who saved those manners for our date tonight? So lady, speak about your final grief. Unhappy that you know the seashore's blues, for conquest of it all gave it its hues, yet never could be ruled by any chief, who making on his way, be what that may, with life's interpretation owns a loss like yours which never minds the kingdom's boss who has so much established our own way as to that stage of ocean's floor he bared a flood. We fear what else he could have dared. Malak Ame with me. Sonnet 28. Some whispering it all, some also roar for more than four to take. The hero falls, another follows, adds in present calls a new turn for a point to capture more. So William, conquering won't make you right. There is another way, a strange approach, all for a ring. I would it were to coach a weariness which pulls you from the fight. To live to see more love you're never mad, but fling the wrestler back up again from dusk to morning time. A beast again. It once was longer. Time before was glad when hearts would come together for a light and follow other souls into that night. Malak Thrickbert with me. Sonnet 29. Sublimest uppercuts invent the wheel, that job for victories of highest booms. A pokey company of ancient dooms. A cannon from the tower to reveal. The archers pull it back in palace shade. Those ragged dolls with labor had enough. So much into themselves and jungle stuff. Those darkest margins, Greeks and Trojans raid. This time's for pleasure. For a gentler view the world provides the checker flag. The end as kisses in some candlelight shall mend the all forgotten notes reminding you to take an olive. Chubby cherubs wait to crack a curtain back upon your mate. Malak Ame with me. Sonnet 30. So much around myself. Anonymous the bees within the reeds, in little fits call to each other where no city sits. They pay their time to busy day's own fuss. Their daily airs grow black upon the ridge, o'er plain and street while flapping down a man. Some dearest Jew, who fears their whipping fan. A mystic crane begins to leave her bridge, and now the angel to a newer sea. His prayer will seek once more to send the maid, to cut into his present for her aid. Lay down and lift for broken night, the plea, to spark that victory. The only gift he asks, a featuring to fight, those fears to lift. Malak Honey with me. Sonnet 31. A knowledge lies within the finest song of all this grass around, for newer mirth. Frogs come to puff it out of space, its birth, to chase their hope for endings clear from wrong. They sit outside the world, from throngs of heads and eyes upon their faces on their hands. What else will keep their days? These given lands? No final hithers better wines and breads, near mushrooms, near the reeds, the lilies flood, and suddenly, when through, comes back that gift to say it with those sounds, some soul to lift, to fill the country's air as someone good has found a time to go about the bloom then fall upon it, gathered up for room. Malak Elaine with me. Sonnet 32. The poor have been forgotten by good hearts while bookless barefoot men of nowadays, forever at their top in careless stays have greatest play. Their golden minute starts for knowledge. Merriment as willing light drinks up the fancy. Counterfeited man, whose more than tiny birth takes all it can, prepares the master's exit from the fight, and sacrificed for pleasure, wed in pain, Eternal cant his best shall bleaken it, so everything gets done that youth may fit to hold its place when death for oldest slain shall die for something on its throne of sin when worshipped boredom plagues its love within. Malak grouchy with me. Sonnet 33. The lady minded all the funny place, the whole annihilation here in black, an empty city's art, the pains we lack in living faces of diviner space. With readiness for day we'll sing and rove, and open our remarks for other peace to dream it out, if men would only cease to mock our ends but add more of their love. This reasonable question heaps around the fallen ridge with rainy anarchy which gains on mountains wise and silvery, throws out its news upon a carefree mound. Celestial new ones know what poems to hear which I, in gargoyle time, will volunteer. Malak ora to ferreted with me. Sonnet 34. Elijah is late. Digression unto destination. Still he is quite the teacher. Eve sunblock the reflection rejection. And Adam swallows a ruby red. A surprise. Baby. To deliver to Abba. We serve the bard another sticky treat with honey butter toast. Our final champ whose utmost boast was won. Woohoo. Now propose. Some magic punch to praise the jerk of the right. Wrong way. Hush not the song. Belt him for the win. Now as the carpet cleaner rows out our bed. Let the matter buzz off. And wear your crown downtown engraved in topaz while the gossamers giggle the whole show. Malak ora with me. Sonnet 35. A maid in the mirror. Those gorgeous pearls and a little French hat. The urn for all room. The podium. Home Olympus. The nests made of pine needles. To shack with Shekinah. The leaves earned their patina. Honey pairs her nut tree. The clipper leaves the bay with a haystack pile. That whole mess. Breakfast flakes or a Snickers for your birthright? Peekaboo son. Freeze. Crook my own Sammy's jam. The test is a blank. So why answer the question? Problematic Luke. Dead tongue. Demand him for the blessing. Go quicker. Quicker Diane. The psalmist masterpiece still for what's his name. Kathleen Luke 14:26. Sonnet 36. No rain is in the air. Thirst is the worst. The little crow picks up a few pebbles. Chardonnay and French bread for me. A ghost in love. Who prefers possession? Witty Walt Whitman. A flood of green. The peacock pushes out. A restless creation which Gnostics dismiss. Beasts hate the best. The glorious end and its boundless value. Meow small. Meow small. Change back again the forbidden pair. Its tight figure 8. And help out the subject matter since that slot stole my coins. Books in a vault. These children. They are the money. Read only. Answer the crit. Say it with a bugle. And cut the stem when a rose attracts. Malak Ame with me. Sonnet 38. The poor day kisses us over and over until its death. Ye the stuff for a growing sonnet. Some message to gossip about. Where the rain goes. Read a beautiful. Beyond fight. Fishing out for memories a fair doe with the clouds and time. The branches change. Composed for aloha. For the willow trees on the mountain. Maybe not in these months. These tedious nerds will tell and enforce heaven's drops. Or some white lie deal for sugar lovers. I myself pass up the password. Hello Hill. It's alright to see all for sweetie whose own swaggering pleasures need that hug. Man. Malak ora to ferreted with me. Sonnet 40. Will my own farewell voyage have a victory song? Perhaps the song plays but I'm blocked from my goal. If only I could beat those words now by rephrasing them for any coming celebration. Challenges test my luck. Why don't I win? I'm captain of my will when cutting up a pie. One with powdery sprinkles. When having ginger ale and my fill of fun. Grandma's visits end masks the matter. Sunflowers in her box and a rose's petals blow it for the conqueror on his own mountain peak. Professional reflections seem to exit from the divine on a steep pear tree through what could be magic doors. Will I ever meet again with a laurel, with its green crown, even if it's on another, the unchosen rival reading a message? Malak Elaine with me. Sonnet 41. Over human places and over forbidden grasses where the hills are home. A river of dawnlight with the sun, light as air, passes its place above. After a while that shiny world gives up on this street. What this morning makes holds in rest as it intimates more pleasure coming back like to a dance, which seems to speak of the love which we must all have. We stand beneath the sky. I look at you, and it is not hard to be inspired to fiddle with love. Coming before the fall. Colorful nosegays flower the soul's lap, and she comes out of her prison armed with a lullaby for those not yet silent. Oh, anchor me to this soul whose almost permanent reign in this boundless wilderness does not bungle anything up. Malak Penelope with me. Sonnet 42. He'll buy blankets with his dollars or will buy a boat. Now walking off to the rush of television. the commander of the kingdom with some change in the cup. Now the mind unleashes clouds from its cherry heaven, its milk and roses, the duty of water. A solitude helps at sunset. Traveler's country. His crooked scythe rests on an empty stretch. Distant seasons and plain rhythms. Companion stuff of love's complexities. A parentless place with that end page. The lion's eyes hurt. A taller country. The stars in the beginning were happiest. The broken rainbow of that high inner heaven studies the mountain. Its fallen leaf crisps. The prophet's book. Malak Penelope with me glained. A different style. A thought. Look. With all sorts of creatures. Creatures which cannot be seen. The cottonwoods grow or the maples rise. And in order to make these trees, which have their own questionable order, which droop our distant goal towards the present, something was done once here with energy. There are all of us watching this giant group of cottonwoods with our own inner allowances. There is nobody here who does not feel little. There are these shady trees outside. During the book's beginning, which happens to be an unknown for now, under which it is being read, the trees take the place of reading. It is what we ourselves have given over since nobody else can give now the same. To be strange in this jungle, and not to know or care about the difference between the reality and the make-believe. It is an end to the bustle, the old hustle, bustle we make. Anything or nothing will be all there is. Anything becomes nothing, and either of them still do not make up all there is. The same goes for nothingness. The trees which were once the sum of our distant goal, these trees now here, since we came. Our goal at times of the end, and at times a new beginning, under which we read, a reading, and to the others we are not reading. Malak Lisbeth with me Sonnet 44. You must listen to your brother's righteous digression. It exists as a spectacle, an ending frieze. Consider and absorb its beautiful aside, a matter for the time, with facts to hasten. He is desperate to be right, to be first of purpose to the point of the health of some wonderful discovery, and closer to the middle of that fantastic pleasure. He will proceed with his song and its magical build-up to solve the play, its patient happening to be functional, though slow, with the narrowing of his tale. Behold the beginning of hesitation yet in the wistful light left for change as its worrisome frame is fiercely shoved away so that the transition would be remembered for its respected presence. Malak Yaffa with me Sonnet 45. I am grateful to discover the distant image, and I have forced my luck with a blunt poke, newly convincing me for some new sleep. This hurry to be healthy is difficult to hush, but, now listen to the details for some hope. That noble sensibility I do not want to fling away. Soon for a good while, with a little extra pull, an attractive warmth shall take responsibility, and I will welcome the consequences of a great claim, which I, first to see, behold with deliciousness. This happy luxury timely embraces me with its magical complexities until, tiring of seriousness, I am ready to be bored, lately disappointed by my own traveler's distractions, rough and brave. Malak Aura with me Sonnet 46. The peaceful rain is falling still, a pretty sight and something wished, as a long peacefulness either to come in summers or winters, to hold its form. Some time at the window, where a light is on, somebody writes something during the strong midnight, ever going out for pleasant rewards, for better sounds, with the wisdom to stop the sublime rumors from that remembered dance, and weep to reflect that the always many are given throughout to administer this delightful view where the old reeds tangled at the bottom of the fields and wells are, or the sounds of night in the cooling frosts. Malak Thrickbert with me I am on the rocks below the holly, often afraid there is too much light. On the darkness a wind must come, and another time shall have its day, and with more to rain, as I hold still and weep and seek another crown, in the middle of this land for there is always less outside to relent out of the rough. Bread has been best, let more come down. I roll around this day, and I guess again a little what I have, a marriage, ever a spectacle, for which a few might hope. Malak honey with me there is much which ought to be, much which ought to have been, and yet old age never seems to have it all left. A little street of the yard is seen to open to the back in the air which has put itself to the outside around us. Must there be, too, out here another more difficult virtue to have, a patience? Who would invent any sort of perfect truth for us who are standing around the grave where this kind child lies? Malak Diana with me the clouds above strip it in windy tenderness. I'm a flower, eternally me, so are you, and I would like to hear all that could be told. Malak Marba with me Iraq is embarrassing. Its silence is of a forbidden kind. being that it is at rest. It must be the result of having once worked. Since most rocks are not attention-getting, they are not friends with us. Our love is ethical. On the open road, a rock reposes in its tense state. Malak Diana with me, a leaf is caught when it hurriedly falls. And to catch it without even trying on your funny nose is the lesson. Yet our way is loud sometimes when we dance two striking mena positions over the force of time. Malak thrick, but with me the clouds again are brooding if they should gather themselves inside that flickering quiet absence. And obscure, like parents, all things below them. The child has been right to stand still without fear, and the excitement pushes clouds beyond correction, to perfection, since perfection is calling. Perfection has a weakness, being that it had once not been perfect until now, where it stays so. So there is a wait for perfection as of now by all things which are good, which is what I have been meaning to say, and saying. Now I too can hang around for a while like those clouds, which seem happy to be there. Malak Penelope with me, nothing is quiet for too long, being that the time to know ripens. Words ring out of the now, yet these ballroom manners become tiresome. To catch up to heaven is preferred. To be on that stairs rise, towards a taller world for certain, with a grace which is the end of health. To keep your honor in a rough place where even the lily's spell is sad. A layman's world has importance too, even when the leader of all convinces none. Seafood and bread for your hunger. Your pleasure's heights come with a struggle. A vessel out there needs attending. To break out into idleness is a must. Malak Aura with me, the blue bread, the people of the moon. A special lift of a mighty smile. The red lion, the heroic land, the grain of the people and the truth above. The lion's delight, the wind in his hairdo, the gathering approach of the spring's heavenly weather. The bread looks whole, the sailboat is in paradise, and I look like a sweet success. Malak Elaine with me, the green, no, the forest explained. The wilderness is wedded to quietness where I sit. The trees are this time less green, but hopeful. I start a change, a whole field to mind, to mind. To mind though pained with things, and with all of these which are saying farewell, I still freshly can see them in the poem. Malak Ame with me, the improvisation of shoes, of anything on the walk. They dance with me on the stone, this path, where we stop or go on forever for bread, the picnic and the birds. Birds actually like the kind upon your cabinet. Home or far desires, to be like a bird crying in the air, the leaf or the truth. For honesty or for victory, and the craze for it to become night. Malak grouchy with me, the dark rocks are ambivalent of time. Their reality we transcend. This place and these geese, who know what to steal. The whole, its power to please. The moon, to sing how great it is. Malak Ame with me when moonlighting. And more the self is spared from its lost sleep, which seems to go beyond all this world and all the heaven it once had. Still escaping whatever the confusions of the day had given in its rapture. It sees it shall have again for her own another splendid collection, even of bright roses, since what went off invisible or primeval, the space that was yesterday, had fallen away. Yet had not these new adventures begun to claim themselves for alien wealth. Every creature's voice in the poem might have ceased forever. Malak Ariel with me, okay, when? Maybe later. The voice is a received from out of this day made in it. It must be done. It is great for the people to wander about as if each is in a fantasy. I know I have to know this. Somehow their news must have romance in its telling. In this place to water life is brought out, and it is still short. Still difficult to make the music but not to be caught by it. Malak Aura to ferret it with me, I take water's transparency as very serious. Believe me, I get alarmed by it. Being alarmed so is to get up in an awkward way, which becomes even more awkward to some of us who withdraw nothing from what society offers, waiting just to hear shockingly of its doom. A juvenile belief, which is not something I have for this poet's imperfect bubble. Malak with Elaine with me, oh never for this atmospheric breath the people stop. Environmental death of heaven's angry light regrets its part. The rocks below are monuments, and dart into responsible lost worlds withstands this idle morning freeze. I wash my hands. O groundhog shape, your blue eye oppressed, opinionated now from back to breast. When jealous of the tail utmost expires the blighted lights from Keter stronger fires. Severity is stupid, holds a wall in day atop the west. Revenge and all are wandering. The bunnies of our thought are sunken whisperings from changing's court. Malak Aura with me, the stars strive not that much to be in air. Their melodies, their sparks are perfect there, and with intelligence the stars have face, are sensitive, those melodies, this place. A word of weather cleared it up before. It cleared and came to many minds with more. An idleness in wetness waits around, the critic's creeping sun of sense and sound, whose friendship faster breaks upon to bless for life and lady, man and child success. The water when the storm makes dear its shade of lateness in the wind. It has decayed as pleasures on this mountain's stony frame, this marble mountain and its better aim. Malak Marba with me, where went the worthy clear that darkness closed? In spite of changing stars, I have opposed a far more flooded main within my heart. I were to wait it out throughout some part. My wait is like a favor to remain. We do ascend the hill on top to train. There I will build my place and so retire, to none be seen, and watch the time expire. But thou art worth not going off profound. There is your song, a golden reaching sound. And if I did once praying for it send to have it like as now as I attend such song, and let all listen for some way out of our private doom. And who could say, that if to have it with delight, we'll roar just as the sea with patience on the shore. Malak Kelly with me, here come those dancing leaves which drift outside, which still shine on their sunny windy ride. I think by drifting far those leaves are pressed amongst their final streets in fallen rest. And here the morning's moods to skies convey. Methinks your own thoughts wish to crave their way now for the play this afternoon. Debate how with a peaceful day you'll make your fate with those environments which slide off far. For none would want them dimmer than they are, more than our reasonableness prepares. Be only in my painless farther stairs, that I would want them not to work in vain, as often have when watching something plain here in this room, but not to outside light wherein your far more joyful beams unite. Malak Marian with me, the shadowed days, so many to behold, reveal their hopes, as I would so be told. I sit and sigh that if I cannot fall for power with its light, and for the all which stays above, and if I did return, why would there be at best more hearts to yearn? The angel knows that I cannot be plain, but if I could, then there I'd have new pain. For other hearts and healing let us fight. Where are the day's own gifts? Where is the light which for its sunny best we all employ? The loss of nature's home and this annoy. They have no end, as now it is to dread if our eternal night is come to spread. Malak Thrick, but with me I may not be around as sea or stone, and like them have my waves been overthrown. I will not say farewells until it's late, and from my sayings so cause new debate in spite of all my goings out profound, which like an open trap have kept me bound. Where goes this watery wilderness of old? I'll have a walk near beaches to behold, if none could shine out better than sunfire. Can any rise up like the sun entire, which never had been formed by any mind before such vacant lights in water shined? If it is good, then my forgiving eye, it shall be seen to wink before I'll fly, before my spirit's lost within that bright, the sky which none should blame for its own light. Malak Elaine with me, a rose is home upon the valley's ground, into its world, the air, these winds surround. Today my nature pairs me on the shore, but from those daily winds the sky seems sore. Yet what for hurting heaven need we care? There is within more fancy to repair, by which I mean the spirit of the heart, whose tenderness to become lost is art, where from within, it holds its silent reign, sometimes despairing even weeps at pain. These pictures of the pounding waters games are naturally its education's aims, so I will comb the beach and proofread day, its ruin, my fate and how to get away. Malak Thrick, but with me I'll be saddened on the sand, and often have been when calling for space, and I would have my clothes get lost. Out of the waves the water's moments have scurried through the foam here by the biting fish, and now that I am silent here by this paradise which comes from winds, I see the wider hope I had for what it is. None roar, hearts teach, mountains begin, love esteems, honor wanders, a few know, nature rests, the road stops, rain returns, kisses breathe, flowers break, nothing rises, wealth crowd, the celebration spreads, and either they must be revealed right now or I must think them hidden eternally. Malak Yaffa with me, when existence parts from meaningfulness because a pain spreads out its day, the heart falls, as usual, to get better, and new trust pours all into the hope that it can. Existence claims its way through the body, as a light reflecting upon its descent forward which, before night breaks its dark over the hills, and a body, wherever it is, yields at dawn through the afternoon towards the now night. Hidden flowers and grass on the mountain or valley. Life has almost everything, turning away from only those questions which do not fit together to lengthen out its peace. Above it a heaven moves between us. The lights scatter through that space, and every ray brings from you new love, Malak Kabbalah with me there is a life which spirits must maintain. We do it best to trouble less its strain. How may I ever live within its might? Out of a sunshine comes, I trust, a light. To have it brought, as warmths upon me fall, is like the gentle ruining of a wall. There is a memory owned by a friend, but I shall hope it won't that soul offend. Amongst the whole to tell me it inspires, I think by gentle things, decaying fires, I am to watch them go as out a door. Now for the memory of which I bore, this one shall be my sunshine to below, but whither shall we in it move and flow? Most of the time from light there is an age of which with time there are decays of rage. Malak Perak with me,